Most people who open the book of Psalms start with Psalm 23. The Lord is my shepherd, the valley of the shadow of death. They will dwell in the house of the Lord forever. It is the most famous psalm in the Bible, and it deserves to be famous. We covered it together in this series already. But most people skip the one that comes first. Psalm 1. 6 verses, 88 words. The gateway to a collection of 150 psalms that have been read, prayed, and sung for 3,000 years. The editors of the Psalter did not put it first by accident. They placed it there as a doorway, as a key to understanding everything that follows, as a warning, a promise, and a map all at once. If you walk past Psalm 1, if you skim it on your way to the more famous psalms, you walk past the framework the ancient editors built specifically so you would not miss what was coming. Let's actually read it carefully. The first thing to understand about Psalm 1 is its purpose. We do not know who wrote it. The psalm itself has no superscription, no author note, no historical occasion, no instruction. That is rare in the Psalter. Most psalms tell you who wrote them and when. Psalm 1 tells you neither. That is because Psalm 1 is not a psalm of personal experience. It is an editorial introduction. When the ancient editors of the Hebrew Bible compiled the Psalter, gathering together psalms of David, of Asaph, of the sons of Korah, of Moses, and of anonymous writers, they placed this psalm at the very front, like the cover page of a book. It tells you what the entire collection is about. It establishes the two paths. It sets up the framework you will see throughout the next 149 psalms. Psalm 1 is the door. Every other psalm is what waits on the other side. The psalm opens with a single sentence that contains an entire moral philosophy. Blessed is the man that walketh not in the counsel of the ungodly, nor standeth in the way of sinners, nor sitteth in the seat of the scornful. Notice the Hebrew word for blessed. It is ashrei. It does not mean what we normally mean by blessed in modern English, being lucky or fortunate. It means deeply, profoundly happy. The settled flourishing of a life that is actually working. The psalm is opening with a question: what makes a human being actually flourish? And the answer is unexpected. It does not start by telling you what to do. It starts by telling you what not to do. Look at the three verbs: walks, stands, sits. This is not random. This is a deliberate escalation. A person walks past something, a brief moment of contact, easy to leave behind. They keep moving. A person stands somewhere. They pause. They consider. They have not yet committed, but they are no longer just passing through. A person sits. They are settled. They have chosen. They have made a place for themselves where they are. And look at the three things being escalated through. The counsel of the ungodly, the advice, the worldview, the perspective of people who do not consider God, the way of sinners, the pattern, the lifestyle, the path that those people walk, the seat of the scornful, the company of those who actively mock what is sacred. Three verbs, three groups, one escalating drift away from God. Walking past worldly counsel becomes standing in the path of sinful patterns, becomes sitting permanently in the company of mockers. The psalm is describing how spiritual erosion actually happens. Nobody decides one day to scoff at God. They walk past unhealthy advice. Then they stand in the path. Then they sit down. And the warning of verse 1 is, at every step, you can still turn back. Then the psalm tells you what the alternative looks like. But his delight is in the law of the Lord, and in his law doth he meditate day and night. The contrast is total. The ungodly walk in counsel, the blessed delight in the law. Two words to slow down on. Delight, in Hebrew, chefetz. This word does not mean duty or discipline. It means pleasure, joy, the kind of attention you give to something you love, not something you have to do. The blessed person does not grit their teeth through Scripture. They take delight in it. And then meditate. In Hebrew, Hagar. This word literally means to mutter, to murmur, to repeat softly under one's breath. Ancient Jews did not silently read scripture. They recited it aloud, over and over, in low voices, throughout their day. To meditate on the law was to keep speaking it, to return to it constantly, to turn it over in your mouth and your mind throughout daily life. Day and night closes the verse. Not occasionally, not on the Sabbath only, continuously, the way a person who is in love thinks about the one they love, without trying. This is what replaces the slow drift of verse 1, not religious effort, a genuine love of God's instruction that pulls you in the opposite direction. And then comes one of the most beloved images in the entire Bible. And he shall be like a tree planted by the rivers of water, that bringeth forth his fruit in his season. His leaf also shall not wither, and whatsoever he doeth shall prosper. A tree planted by a river. Every word in that image is doing work. A tree, rooted, stable, long-lived, growing slowly but enduring. A tree is not in motion, it is fixed. Planted, not random, not wild. Deliberately set in the ground by someone who chose that location for that tree. The Hebrew word here can also mean transplanted, taken from one place and rooted in another by intentional design. By the rivers of water. The Hebrew is plural, not one stream, but many. Surrounded by water on every side, constant supply, never drought. That image alone is the heart of Psalm 1. The person whose roots are in Scripture, who delights in it, who meditates on it day and night, is not someone trying to find water. They are someone who has been planted in water. The supply is constant. The growth is inevitable. And then the three results. Brings forth fruit in its season. The right fruit at the right time. Not premature, not late, when it is supposed to come. A tree planted by water does not have to strain to produce. Production is natural to it. Its leaf shall not wither. Endurance. Through every season, through dry months and hot months and cold months, the leaves stay green because the roots are in water. Whatsoever he doeth shall prosper. Not in the prosperity gospel sense of everything you touch turns to gold. In the deeper sense of what comes from your life has weight, value, lasting effect. The tree's fruit feeds people. The tree's shade protects them. The tree's wood becomes something useful. A flourishing life is a fruitful life. This image has been quoted, painted, embroidered, and memorized for 3,000 years for one reason. It captures the entire shape of a life that has been transformed by being rooted in God. Then the psalm gives you the other side. The ungodly are not so, but are like the chaff which the wind driveth away. Three Hebrew words make this verse devastating. Lo ken, not so. The ungodly are not the tree. They are not rooted. They are not by the water. They are not bearing fruit. They are not enduring. They are chaff. Chaff was the lightweight outer husk that separated from the grain during ancient threshing. The grain was substantial. It had weight. It sank to the ground. It became bread. The chaff had no weight. The slightest breeze blew it away. It produced nothing. It nourished no one. It served no purpose. It disappeared. The contrast is total. The blessed life is rooted, weighted, fruitful, enduring. The ungodly life is loose, weightless, fruitless, disappearing. The psalm is not saying that the wicked have no joys, no successes, no apparent achievements in the moment. It is saying that all of it is chaff, that when the wind of judgment comes, when time and circumstance and ultimately eternity blow, there is nothing substantial enough to remain. The closing two verses make the contrast final. Therefore the ungodly shall not stand in the judgment, nor sinners in the congregation of the righteous. Notice the word stand. The wicked, who sat in the seat of the scornful, in verse 1 cannot stand at the end. Their settled posture in mockery is reversed by the inability to remain upright when judgment comes. And then the psalm closes with the most important line in the entire chapter. For the Lord knoweth the way of the righteous, but the way of the ungodly shall perish. The Hebrew word for knoweth here is yada. It does not mean intellectual knowledge. It means intimate, experiential, relational knowing. The same word used elsewhere for the deepest forms of human relationship. The Lord knows, intimately, personally, by name, the way of the righteous. The way of the ungodly is not unknown to God, but it perishes. It does not endure. It has no lasting reality before Him. This is the doorway. This is what every other psalm in the Psalter builds on. There are two paths. One is known by God and ends in flourishing. The other is chaff and ends in nothing. Psalm 1 is short enough to memorize in an afternoon. Most people who memorize it do. But the genius of this psalm is not its length, it is its placement. The editors of the Psalter, working centuries after the individual psalms were written, chose this psalm to come first. They wanted you to read about the tree planted by rivers of water before you ever read Psalm 23 about the shepherd. They wanted you to understand the two paths before you read Psalm 91 about the shelter of the Most High. They wanted you to know what blessedness actually means before you ever encountered David's pleading in Psalm 27 or the great hymns of praise or the songs of ascent. Everything in the Psalter unfolds inside the framework of Psalm 1. If you have spent your whole life reading the famous Psalms while skipping the first one, you have been reading the rooms of a house while walking past the doorway. Psalm 1 is asking the question the entire Psalter is going to answer, over and over and over again. What makes a human being actually flourish? The answer in 6 verses is this: not drifting with the world, delighting in the Word, rooted by water, producing fruit, known by God. That is the doorway. Walk through it. In our next chapter of Psalms, we move to chapter 145, one of David's great hymns of praise. I will extol thee, my God, O King, and I will bless thy name forever and ever. Where Psalm 1 sets the foundation, Psalm 145 lifts the roof. The story is just getting started.